18-year-old college student, I landed my dream job at a clothing boutique. It was a high-revenue SEC football weekend when a familiar customer walked through the door. She grabbed me and said, "Ashley, help me find the perfect date night outfit." So we walked the store, we grabbed some items, she jumped into the dressing room, and as she would come out, I would tell her openly, "That is a definite yes." Or, "I'm not really feeling it, I don't think that's the one." So we collected the items, we walked to the register, and I saw my store manager watching out of the corner of my eye, and I thought, this is gonna be good. She swiped Daddy's credit card, having spent over $5,000 just like that in one afternoon. She walked out of the store with 2 giant bags in each hand and a huge smile on her face. My manager said, "Ashley, we'd like to see you in the back." I knew this was going to be really, really good. There was either a large promotion in my future, or at worst, there was going to be a little raise. But as I walked to the back of the store, I was greeted with an unexpected look of disapproval. My manager looked me in the eye and said, "Ashley, we are going to refill your position. That young lady usually spends twice the amount of money. You should have sold her every single thing she tried on. We are letting you go." Many of you may remember that first feeling of devastation and disappointment in life when you had this fairy tale career move planned in your mind, but something completely different was the outcome. I begged my body not to react, but the tears fell down. I walked out of the store, shoulders slumped, head down, got in my beat-up used car in the parking lot and cried my eyes out. After all, I had just lost what I thought was my dream job. Certainly, I wasn't the problem. Well, I would go on to get fired. Not once, not twice, but 3 times in the next few years, until finally one day it hit me. I was the problem. But perhaps the problem wasn't a problem at all. Maybe I, like so many others, was just unemployable. If you've ever felt that way, or had someone tell you otherwise, the fantastic news for you is that you are probably an entrepreneur. Your problem is not your problem. Your problem is the perception of that problem, and I'm here to change that perception. The actual dictionary definition of the word unemployable is someone not able or likely to get paid employment due to a lack of skills. I personally strongly challenge this definition and perception of a lack of skills. I think it's the exact opposite. Why? Because the entrepreneurs that I know are creative. They think outside of the box. They are open-minded, some of them fearless. They may not take well to being told what to do and when to do it, but they solve problems, and oftentimes you'll find that their way is even better. In comparison, large corporations are often thinking, how can we get the most amount of time for the least amount of money from our employees? And perhaps employees like me were thinking, how can I get the most amount of money for the least amount of time? Entrepreneurs, on the other hand, thought completely outside of that box. Entrepreneurs challenge that status quo. Entrepreneurs think differently. You know, many times I warn people that entrepreneurship is not easy. In fact, I often say, getting on an emotional roller coaster willingly is the equivalent to becoming an entrepreneur. It looks something like this. Oh my gosh, we're launching. We have our first few sales. Don't act surprised. We're making it. Yes, we're winning. Problem, problem, problem. Oh my God, we're failing. Why did I get on this roller coaster? My stomach hurts so bad. What was I thinking? But I'm having the time of my life. I get it. That is absolutely for some people. And guess what? That's perfectly okay. Because if you have a job or a career and it is what you love doing, keep doing that. Because so many people in their lifetime never have that opportunity. But if you are someone out there that is feeling that nagging pull, those incessant questions in your mind over and over again, and you start to ask yourself, there has to be more to life than this? There has to be. Trust me, listen to your gut instinct, because for you, there probably is. When you look at our economy right now, I fully believe that so many people are feeling that pull into entrepreneurship, which is changing the way we are working to earn a living. So many trends are now converging on the creative ways to offer time freedom, autonomy, the ability to work from anywhere in the world, or the ability to work at home in your pajamas and workout clothes. Bottom line, we are working differently. There is a massive boom happening in our economy with the way we are working differently. Specifically, we are selling online. We are renting rooms in our homes, right? We're proud believers in products with people that are either going out there and talking about those products that we love. You might recognize some of these some of these largest companies in America behind me. Uber, Lyft, Etsy, Airbnb, Isagenix, a health and wellness company that did $1 billion in sales last year alone and is a leader in the $280 billion and growing network marketing industry. We're work from home moms and dads, either making just enough to not have a boss, all the way to very large passive residual incomes. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that 36% of U.S. workers currently have either a primary or secondary gig in this new economy. That number will rise to over 52% in the next 5 years. 90% of Americans are now open to the idea of freelancing or some sort of part-time contracting. And what about the others? Well, I found this number pretty staggering. 63% of full-time executives would make the switch into the gig economy given the opportunity. The number one and number two reason, earn extra income, and number two, have more flexibility in their schedule. The best news yet is that I can't get fired anymore. Yes! Unless, of course, I fire myself, because now I'm my own boss. That would not have been an option or opportunity for me and so many others had I continued to play it safe in conservative corporate America, negotiating for a 2 to 5% yearly raise and a mind-numbing HR review, or negotiating for a couple extra days off and the standard 2 weeks vacation a year. Now, as a keynote speaker, author, sales trainer, and proud network marketer with multiple gigs, I can promise you guys that the gig economy is providing something so much more important for me than I ever thought possible. I've had the honor of leading over 150,000 independent salesmen and women. Together, we would go on to scale my company from 0 to $2 billion in sales in less than 6 years. That had never been done before in our industry. We created over 800 families, some of them part-time, that were earning an extra 6 figures a year, unplugging them one by one from what I call corporate America, or the Matrix. 18,000 is the number of people that we were able to help create an extra $2,000 a month. And make no mistake about it, that number is life-changing for most American families. But how? The answer? Sales. Sales, for those of you that understand and grasp, is the most important skill set required to make it into this new gig economy. Sales is influence, nothing more and nothing less. But ask someone or tell someone, hey, I'm a salesperson, and see how they react. The truth is, it's time to change that stigma. Because the most successful salespeople that I know have an unwavering belief in their product or service. And those no's and those rejections start to bounce off of them over time. And the reason why is they all share something in common. They believe in what they're doing, and for them, that is congruent. I believe that passion is contagious. And it is because of these passionate entrepreneurs that we are seeing a change in our economy, in the way we're working. We are simultaneously entering into what I like to call the new era of no excuse sales. Meaning, yes, the excuse department is now closed. Excuse! I can't find qualified prospects. Solution: market to the millions of eyeballs out there online looking for your unique product or service. Provide excellent service, ask them for positive, genuine reviews in return. The days of needing 1 million, usually fake followers online to have success have come and gone. All we need to do is to engage our audience, provide honest and open feedback, and become a source for them of inspiration and influence. Excuse? We have poor marketing. Solution: look at your sales team and your marketing team as one cohesive unit. Have them work together. Break down the antiquated model of separate departments. And at over $21 trillion annually. That number will rise to over $28 trillion in the next 5 years. The days of the boys club businesses have come and gone. The market is drying up. Evolve, change, grow, work differently, create a new market, create a new product. Talk to your end users and core buyers. Find out what they're looking for and adjust accordingly. Excuse? Our quotas are too high. Solution: find the outliers. The people that are achieving those goals, place them in key leadership roles. Or if you can't do it with that, outsource training and find people that can come in and work on the two most important things when it comes to your sales team: your mindset and the skill set. Excuse: sales is hard. Reality and solution: working for someone else for the rest of your life. Building their dream and not your own is even harder. Which is why 12 years into my career, I would turn down a buyout offer and 3-year non-compete to continue doing what I love and humbly starting all over again. As salespeople, as entrepreneurs in this gig economy, we are going to be forced to continually evolve, change our roles, and we have to do this knowing that the only thing guaranteed in life is change. I knew if I did it once, I could do it again. The greatest blessing in that decision is that now as a single mom, I get to be at home with my children and I don't have to miss the little things. Many of you understand how life can change in an instant, in the most beautiful and unexpected ways when you have kids. My children are often on my lap, even during live conference calls. My team, my partners, they love it because it proves to them that if I can do it, they can too. I made the decision many years ago to never hide the fact that I'm a mother first. I made that the reason why everyone should participate in the gig economy. My daughter Gia often tells me, "Mommy, you're always on the phone." And I tell her, "Gia, at least I'm in the same room." The story behind you is a picture during a live video conference call, international. Thousands of people were on the call. I was holding my daughter, and I'll politely, for the sake of this evening, call it a diaper incident. that was happening simultaneously. The message here is that as entrepreneurs, many times, no matter what's happening around us in our own families and our lives, we are called to a greater purpose, and that is to serve others. And many times as entrepreneurs, you have a lot of other people and their families and their lives that are depending on you. So my advice to any of you that want to become an entrepreneur, you've got to do this. Just keep going. There's a greater lesson here above, and that is the lesson that as women, we no longer have to define ourselves in such limiting roles as, so what are you? Are you a working mom or are you a stay-at-home mom? Guess what? Now, you can be both or neither. You can be a working mom, what I like to call a mompreneur. In my 12-year career, I have a favorite story of a dadpreneur. He was working long hours at UPS, manual labor, lifting boxes. It was gruesome work. They were in debt. They were trying to find a way out, and many times you'll hear stories of incredible entrepreneurs that made that shift when their back was against the wall. So don't look at that like something that could hold you back, because that could very well be your greatest opportunity for success. Kevin and Stephanie Merriweather from Jacksonville, Florida, are a couple that got involved in an opportunity to help people lose weight. They found a simple plan and helped thousands of people do that. This limo behind me is a picture of him and his side gig teammates that pulled up on his last day of work at UPS when he got a chance to do what so many other people want to do, fire their boss and never look back. He is now, even 8 years later, a stay-at-home dad, making up for that lost time with his twin boys. What's even better is now his wife Stephanie is a successful real estate agent in Jacksonville, also working inside of the gig economy. They've now paid it on with the ripple effect of changing many, many lives. And I think I'm so proud to say that in life, there are happy stories like Kevin and Stephanie, and there are also sad stories. This final story is extremely difficult for me to share because it's a very personal story. I was traveling for business, and as the plane touched down, you turn your phone back on, and I heard the ding, 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 ding. As I was leaving the jetway, I had a chance to finally read my messages. And little did I know at the time, but the number one reason why I encourage everyone to work differently inside of the gig economy would also become one of the hardest moments in my life, and certainly the life of my very best friend. My 6-month-old goddaughter, my best friend's little girl, had passed away in the middle of the night. Dylan Rose was only 6 months old. I remember walking off the jetway and literally crumbling to my knees in the middle of a bustling airport. The only thing that helped me get up off the floor was knowing that I had to be there for her, because I didn't know who else could be. I immediately booked a connection flight to her hometown, and within hours, I was holding my best friend in her shaking body and begging her not to give up. The greatest thing that I've ever witnessed in my life is the transformation from that type of pain into becoming an amazing mother to her daughter Scarlett. It is the single most moment that I've witnessed myself that I'm truly proud of in a mother. We learned together that day that unexpected things will happen to all of us. That's called life. But I was able to be there for her in the hardest days and in the hardest weeks of her life. I was able to be, just to be, in the room. I look back now on this amazing opportunity that we have to work differently. And I want to encourage every single one of you right now. Think about how would your life change if you could truly own your own time. No more dreading Mondays, right? No more spending more time at work with your coworkers than you do your own kids. No more leaving your favorite vacation spot when all you want to do is stay a few extra days. No more 2 weeks vacation a year where you try and pack it all in. How would your life change? I'll never take for granted the financial freedom that the gig economy provides, but make no mistake about it. The greatest luxury and blessing is time freedom. Co-chair of Disney Media, Anne Sweeney says, define success on your own terms, achieve it by your own rules, and build a life you are truly proud to live. Life is short. Make it count. Do what you love, even if it's weird and nobody else gets it, because it's what you want to do. Make that decision now. Join me in this amazing adventure. I look back 20 years ago, and I now understand that to truly be free is to be free from never being fired again. Find your own gig. Join me in this. And I can't wait to be there to help you and watch you achieve a life that you are truly proud to live. Thank you.